A US missile strike on the Iranian coast has leveled a maritime control tower, signaling a change in the conflict's rules of engagement. In previous months, strikes were confined to military bases. This time, the target was civilian infrastructure. The missile landed at the port of Chabahar, reducing the facility's primary traffic control tower to a pile of twisted steel and concrete. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth confirmed the operation by sharing images of the collapsed tower, using the strike to message that Tehran no longer controls the surrounding waters. While Chabahar is an Iranian asset, it functions as the center of India's overseas infrastructure network. To modernize this site, New Delhi has invested over $120 million into specialized equipment, including mobile harbor cranes and advanced cargo handling systems. The strike immediately raised a critical question for Indian officials. Had the United States just destroyed the crown jewel of India's maritime strategy? The proximity of the explosion turns a regional dispute between Washington and Tehran into a direct threat to India's $120 million gateway to the world. Identifying the specific damage requires looking past the initial headlines and examining the physical organization of the port. Chabahar is actually divided into two entirely separate operational zones with different management. The first is the Shahid Kalantari Terminal. This is an older facility managed and operated exclusively by the Iranian government. Immediately adjacent is the modern Shahid Beheshti Terminal, the zone that India funded, equipped, and currently operates. When the blast site is overlaid on the port's layout, the destroyed tower sits entirely within the Iranian managed Shahid Kalantari Terminal, leaving the Indian facility completely and physically untouched. While India's investment survived the strike, the proximity of the American missiles proves how narrowly New Delhi's assets avoided the line of fire. This raises the question of why India would risk a multi-million dollar investment inside a territory subject to intense global sanctions and military tension. India currently faces a physical barrier to the north, a border with Pakistan that remains effectively closed to land transit, blocking India's path to the markets of Central Asia. Chabahar allows Indian cargo to bypass Pakistan entirely. Goods move by sea to Iran, then travel north through the international north-south transport corridor into Afghanistan. Beyond this land bridge, the port offers a strategic escape from one of the world's most vulnerable maritime passages. The Strait of Hormuz is a global choke point, likely the first area blockaded during a conflict. Sitting just outside the strait, Chabahar provides India an unblocked gateway to the ocean, even if the Persian Gulf is closed. This strategy mirrors developments just 100 miles to the east, where China has built the Gwadar port in Pakistan to secure its own access to the Arabian Sea. Chabahar functions as India's maritime counterweight to the China-Pakistan alliance, securing a sphere of influence in a highly competitive region. This partnership creates a diplomatic puzzle. An Indian state backed firm is operating in Iran while the US maintains a strict global embargo against the Iranian economy. To resolve this, Washington granted India a specific sanctions waiver that allows the port to continue its operations without triggering American penalties. The justification for the waiver is humanitarian. Chabahar is a primary route for moving economic aid and food supplies into Afghanistan. Despite the terminal safety and the existing waiver, the US strike forced a public response from Prime Minister Modi's government. India issued a formal diplomatic reminder to Washington stating that civilian infrastructure should remain protected during any armed conflict. New Delhi is attempting to set a boundary with its American partners, using its own history of targeted military operations to argue against the destruction of trade facilities. While the physical docks of Shahid Beheshti remain standing, the strike has highlighted the volatility of the region, forcing India to balance its trade ambitions with the realities of a shifting war zone. Given the risks we've seen this week, is India's investment in Chabahar a necessary strategic masterstroke or an unsustainable geopolitical gamble? Let us know your thoughts in the comments.